Welcome back to the Azura Media Club, home of the Bad Girl Coven. I'm your Coven leader, Emily. Today we're talking about Quick Change, a random Bill Murray movie that, again, Facebook shot me a scene of it. Shot me the beginning of the movie, basically, where he's robbing a bank, So the whole premise of this movie is Bill Murray is this clown, and the movie starts off, and he's this clown. Basically like the Joker or something, like he goes into this bank and he's trying to rob this bank, right? So he pulls off this like genius scheme of like he has two of his spoilers, I guess, has two of his goons in there with him, and they're the ones making a scene, and so like they really ham it up. So like when he has to give away the hostages, he gives away them so that they can get out of there. And then he pretends to be one of the hostages coming out. And he's like cleaned off all of his makeup and stuff. And of course he's got the money. They've all got the money like strapped underneath their clothes, which is really brilliant. And the whole movie is just like, will they get away with it? That's like the first 20 minutes of the movie is the bank robbery. And you're like, okay, so like what's the rest of the movie? It's just them trying to get away. And every little thing along the way stops them, It's like, back in the day, you needed directions to, like, get to the airport and stuff. So, like, that stops them. They have to stop at one point to change their clothes. Because otherwise they're going to look really conspicuous or whatever. And, when they're doing that, it's a great scene because, like, her apartment has been sold to like a new person because I guess she sold it because she knew that they were going to rob this bank and whatever. So the new person is there. He comes in with like a gun. It's fucking Phil Hartman. And like he's a younger Phil Hartman. So you see his face and you're like, is that fucking Phil Hartman? You hear his voice and you're like, that's Phil Hartman. And then you see in the credits Phil Hartman. You're like, fucking I knew it. Fucking Leonardo DiCaprio meme like, I knew it. I knew it was him. Anyway. So their car gets, like, pushed out of the way because there's a fire across the street or whatever. And the car, like, goes down and careens down and, like, Oh, they meet, like, a serial killer earlier, too. Who, like, stole a car or whatever. And, he takes, like, their luggage or whatever the hell was in the trunks that were in, like, their backseat. And he like gives them directions to the airport there. So they like take his map and everything. And so then after that they're trying to like get a cab and like nobody wants to pick them up, right? Because of course. And the whole time like the opposite, like the B story is the police like trying to find them. So they're always like one step behind them. So they get this cab driver and he doesn't speak English. And so, he gets him, like, far along enough. The one guy in their group, just, like, he's had enough, and he just, like, jumps out of the car. He hurts himself, and he, like, hurts his legs and stuff. So, like, the whole rest of the movie, he's just, like, limping around, and they have to, like, carry him. So it's just, like, another setback. So, and then also, so they're trying to get on this bus. Like, because they call the cops on that because, like, the cops realize it's, like, the guy or whatever. And they had, like, robbed this mob guy, like, a couple minutes earlier. So this guy who's supposed to be going and dropping off the money to the mob guy that they were talking about with the mob guy gets pegged as the guy who, like, was injured or whatever. So that's what the cops think. And then they get the taxi driver who doesn't speak English at all. And then they realize, like, well, so, like, the main mob guy that's, like, not here, but, like, that the other guy was delivering for is apparently at the airport. But you hear airport, because they're trying to get to the airport, so you think, oh, man, they're going after them to get to the airport, but they're actually going after the bigger guy. And it's funny, because, like, I'm skipping a few beats here, but when they do get to the airport, they, like, cut in front of, Bill Murray, anyway, cuts in front of this guy in line. He's like getting all pissed off and he's like, do you know who I am? And I'm Lombardo or whatever, like, and they didn't click with me until they were actually on the plane with this guy. Like, that's the guy from earlier. That's like the guy that they kept mentioning, the big mob lord is like trying to get out of there. So the cops are now so focused on him and trying to arrest him rather than trying to arrest this clown who stole $1 million from a bank. So, but we don't know that the whole movie. So we're just thinking, oh man, they're after these guys and they're going to get them. Basically, like, the whole movie is like, are they going to get him or not? You know, that's like the tension of the movie there. So they try to get on this bus, but the guy on the bus wants like exact change. He tries to like hand him $100 bill and he's like, no, fuck you. I need exact change, bitch. And he's like, you got like 2 minutes to go over to the convenience store and get change. So he like fucking dashes over there. Of course he has to like sneak around the police and stuff though. He like bumps into a police officer. The police officer's with them there in line and he's just like so anxious the whole time. This lady's buying like $100 worth of groceries, which back in 1990 was like a lot more. And it's like all of this fucking stuff. And he's like, he starts helping him bag the groceries. And, and he's like, I want that special coffee up on that high shelf. So the guy like takes out the stepladder, brings it over there. He's only got 2 minutes to fucking get on the bus and get the change and shit. You know, he finally gets it. The guy's like drops it on the floor. He just like picks it up. He runs out. He, you know, just makes it in the nick of time onto the bus. There's like this other guy who's trying to delay him. He's like sitting there trying to ask the bus driver. He's like, hey, if we get to the airport, we need to be on our flight by 11. Like, they missed their first flight, but their backup flight is at like 11. And he's like, if we get there at 11, or we get there, you know, you're going to take us near the airport. How long would it take us to run to the terminal with our like injured guy? And he's like 21 minutes. It leaves him like 9 minutes to do this thing. Luckily they get a ride with like an airport, like the baggage like vehicle thingy. So they get a ride up there to the airport. But like this whole time the cops are chasing them, and then of course, like I said, like the scene with the big mob boss guy, and then they're on the plane and you see like the cops like get there finally. And it's like, oh shit, they're there to take them down. But then you realize the mob guy, I mean, most people would have realized earlier, I wasn't really thinking about that. The mob guy is the guy that's right in front of him on the plane who is behind him in line or whatever. And they break on and they start like tackling him and stuff. And fucking Bill Murray, like, helps them to like, you know, rip this guy and like hold him and stuff. And then the guy like looks at him and he's like, oh, at the end, like after they got this guy arrested and stuff, he looks at him and he's like, we're going to give you special accommodations. And he's like, what's your name? And he makes up like a fake address and stuff. And he gives him the name that he was like negotiating with him earlier. He says like Chipowski or something was like his last name. And then they're like talking about it after the fact, and as like the plane is flying off, and he's like, wait a second, Chipowski. And it's like, damn it. And he like looks and boom, gone. So yeah, they get away with it in the end, but it's great. It's such a funny movie, and it also has like good character work and like good tension. Like for like a Bill Murray comedy movie, it's like good tension and stuff, and it's just a really interesting movie to watch. Like all the pieces really work well. All the humor of it. They pay off jokes later in the movie. They kind of build up a lot of... There's a lot of good writing in there, you know, like... So... I've never heard of this movie until, like, I saw it on that one clip, like, the beginning of it on Facebook or whatever, so... It's pretty underrated, I guess, Bill Murray movie. I mean, he's been in a lot of great movies, you know, he's just a great actor. Everyone in this movie's great, you know. But, yeah, so... Quick Change. I don't know if you even said the title. Underrated Bill Murray movie where he's a clown at the beginning, so... Yeah. I liked it. Soundtrack was good, too. It was very tense. So... Hey, did you hear about the circus fire? I heard it was intense. Anyway, now I'm the clown. Oh, that would be one. No, I think I've already heard somebody ask him that one. There's that guy who does those videos like make me laugh for $20. I think I'm gonna use that one or my muffin joke. One of those two I'm gonna use. Anyway, so, Quick Change. Great movie. 8.7 out of 10. So stick around, subscribe to join the Bad Girl Coven, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Emily,